In this video, I'm going to share with you the 6 components to creating a 6-figure online coaching program so that way you can make more money for less of your time, get better results from your athletes, and you don't have to give a split of your money to your boss. And if this is your first time here, my name is Nick. Welcome to the channel. I run an online consulting company teaching baseball coaches how to achieve time and financial freedom through online training without giving a split to a facility or their boss, and without sacrificing the results of their athletes. And I've been getting a ton of questions recently about how they can actually build an online coaching program to get, really good results. How can you actually charge, thousands of dollars for a program, right? And the biggest mindset shift that coaches need to make is not so much that they need to sell their time and do one-on-one remote lessons, but they are actually selling information. And I'm going to show you how you can package it up to where you can sell your coaching program for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, all upfront paid. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so this is how to create an online program. We'll just do a little overview and then we'll get into the 6 components. So number one, when creating an online program, it's absolutely vital to know exactly what the end goal looks like. So, you really want to understand what you want to deliver, how you want to deliver it, who you want to deliver it to. To be honest with you, that's outside of the scope of this video. That's more marketing stuff. This is more about how you can deliver it to your athletes. What's inside the scope of this video is how to create an online program that makes you more money for less of your time without sacrificing the results of your athletes, right? So remember, like I said, you're selling information, you're not selling your time. And that is one of the biggest mental hurdles that people have to make, is that you're selling your expertise, you're selling your knowledge, you're selling information, right? Think about all the kids out there. Like if you were a high-level baseball player, let's say, or a high-level athlete, and you want to package up your information and sell it to people, right? You need to package it in such a way that actually makes it very, very valuable to people and to actually get results, because most people think that time is money, right? If you trade your time, the more time you spend with somebody, the more valuable it is. But that is not true. Okay, value is created based on how much value you can get from whatever you're delivering to them, okay? If somebody who has 0 skills gives you all of their time, it may actually be taking away from your ability to get better, make more money, live a better life, etc., right? If somebody let's say Steve Jobs spends 5 minutes with you, right, and gives you the key to your business, how valuable is that? Okay, so it's not always about time, it's about the information, okay? And information and the application of information is what we're selling. So anything that you can do to maximize or to minimize your time is a win, okay? But at the same time, anything that you can do to maximize the results is a win, okay? And we want to prioritize results over anything else because that is going to be your best marketing tool. If you're trying to sell out for, I'm trying to spend as little time as possible, and you don't really care about the results of your athletes, number one, nobody's going to want to train with you. Your program's going to suck. Word's going to get out. And quite frankly, you're a scammer, right? Because at the end of the day, we're actually trying to help people get better here. That's why we do what we do. In my program, I'm actually trying to help people get results. I just sent out a customer survey to my customers yesterday, and I got a couple comments about things that I can improve. And now I'm my mind is racing of, oh my gosh, how can I solve these problems for these people? Because all I care about is getting results. And that's exactly what you should be driven by as well. So a principle to remember is it is about getting athletes results and delivering a great service. It is not about trying to make as much money as possible for as little time as possible. Okay, the better program you create, the better systems you create, the better information that you have, you will make more money for less of your time, right? But that is a byproduct of, creating a great program, because it just so happens that you can create a program that requires much less of your time than in-person training and get better results with your athletes. So that's what I'm going to teach you today, okay? Most people, when they're doing in-person training, when they're giving lessons, they're seeing an athlete 1 time a week for 30 minutes to an hour. And then the next time you see them the week after, what happens, right? You're working on the same stuff over and over and over and over again, and it becomes this repetitive cycle. So what we're trying to do here is, with these principles, you can actually use these with your in-person athletes and provide them more value by giving them a hybrid program, right? So that way you're actually teaching them the concepts and giving them something to do when they're not with you, okay? So they can actually get better instead of just saying, oh, we're not even there yet. We're not even there yet, right? Selling them to come back to you every single week, okay? You want to sell this like, I'm going to teach you it so that you never have to pay another hitting coach again. And then they want to stay with you because of the relationship, not because they think that you have something that they don't have, okay? It is a huge mindset shift for coaches to make, but I promise you, when you make that mindset shift, you will print money, okay? If you don't believe me, go ahead, check out the main video on my channel, see the results that I get from my coaches, see the results that I got. I went from 0 to making over 250K in just 10 months, worked with over 250 athletes all online, did over 32K a month. And now my consulting business, I have, just south of 50 coaches right now. Probably by the end of the week, I'll hit 50 coaches. And these principles really, really work. And this is what I do in my program as well. So let's jump right into it, okay? The 6 components. Number 1, you want a course or a program, okay? And so this is the most vital piece of the program. The reason being is that the purpose of an online program is to teach the concepts to the athletes, okay? Rather than give them band-aids, which is essentially what a 30-minute to 1 hour lesson 1 time per week is. We actually want to provide real information to these athletes. And the way that we can do it is to build out a curriculum, okay? Think about the concepts and principles of what you need somebody to understand for them to fully grasp what you're trying to teach. Write it all down. Write it all down. I cannot stress this enough. Write it all down. This whiteboard right here gets so much work. It's crazy because I'm constantly writing things out, mapping things out visually. It helps me think, okay? So think really, really detailed. The more detailed you can make your program and the less assumptions you can make, the more effective your program will be in actually teaching people, okay? Most people will tell me they can't fully explain things to people unless they're in person. And what I say to that is you're probably just not that good at explaining things in a simple and easy to understand way to an athlete. Because if you were, it wouldn't matter the medium, right? So the channel of information through video, for example, what I'm delivering to you right now, or in person, those are different mediums, right? It wouldn't matter the medium that the information was being delivered through. You could communicate exactly what you wanted and have the athlete understand it the very first time if you were that good, if you were that articulate, if you were that smart, okay? So if you're not those things, then you need to get better, right? You can either say, oh, I'm not good at online training, I'm not good at explaining things over the internet, or you can figure out a way to do it, right? The people who have success with this model figure out a way to do it instead of finding excuses as to why they can't do it, okay? And you're giving yourself an excuse as to why you can't do it and being like, oh, it's different for them because blah, blah, blah. Well, they've just mastered the skill that you haven't. They've worked harder than you have. And that's why they're getting the results and you are not, okay? So with that in mind, you want to create modules that teach your concepts. And this is essentially like the meat of your program, okay? It's the main course, right? That's why it's called the course of the program. Okay, daily checklist. So this is what most people think they need to sell in their remote training program. At the end of the day, like it's just a fraction of the value you're delivering. So with that being said, like the daily checklist would be like, the warm up, the drill work, the strength training, the mobility, recovery routines, etc. Like what to do every single day, okay? Essentially, it's what the athletes are meant to be doing. And it can be different for every single athlete or it can be the same. It just depends on like how you want to frame your program. But ultimately, it just depends on what you deem necessary or what is actually possible for you. So this holds your athletes accountable, number 1, to what they're doing every day. And then number 2, ensures that they're doing things that are going to move them closer toward their goals, okay? This is like what to do, but as we all know, it's not about just doing stuff. It's about the level of execution, which is what the course is for, to teach the concepts. And then the daily checklist or the daily program is what to do every single day, right? And then number 3, we supplement it with support. And so I have here the second thing. I'll just put third. The third thing you want to create is a support system, okay? And this will take shape in the form of messaging, one-on-one calls, live lessons, etc. I don't recommend live lessons because it defeats the purpose of going online. You can still do it, but you're probably going to want to charge a little bit more money for it, right? So ultimately, it's the cadence in which you will communicate with athletes and how you will provide them more support for their program. So for example, you can tell an athlete that you'll be extremely responsive during the hours of 9 and 5, Monday through Friday. You can have a coaching calendar link that you can send to them and they can book a call directly with you through there on your schedule and on their schedule. So that way you don't have to go back and forth. Or you can say, hey, once per week, we'll hop on a call and recap the last week, assess your progress, do mechanical analysis, or whatever else, right? Remember, these are principles, okay? If you need me to tell you exactly how to run your own program, then you probably aren't cut out to run your own program, okay? Because it does require effort, planning, and a little bit of creativity on your own end. So, with that in mind, number 4, community. This is something that I should have implemented in my business sooner, my remote training business, right? Because I currently have a community, like I said, of just under 50 baseball coaches in my own program. And it's literally the best part about my program, in my opinion, obviously. But the reason why is it gives people a sense of belonging to something bigger than themselves, right? It creates stickiness. People don't want to leave the community because as soon as they leave, what are they not? They're not one of us anymore, okay? So everybody just wants to be on a team and feel like they're a part of something. And we can deliver that by giving them a sense of community so they feel less crazy, number 1. And like they're, number 2, not the only kid out there in the world trusting a random stranger they met on the internet to train with them, right? Now we can create a community. One of my clients, Nick Zoris, said he just started implementing community group calls, things like that. And we'll get into the group calls next. But he just started implementing the community and he was like, oh my God, like these guys are helping each other out. Like they're answering each other's questions. Like they really, really enjoy being a part of it. And that is how you can, get people to stay with you past the initial, like, hey, 6 months, I'll teach you everything you know. They're going to want to stay in the community, in the program, to continue to be a member of the community, right? If you do a good job. Okay. Group calls. So group calls are probably the most valuable thing you can do in a coaching program for scale purposes and to teach concepts, right? Because if you're a coach, you really want to teach other people what to do or how to do things. So most people have this backwards. They think one-on-one lessons are the way to teach, but it's actually not true. Most people learn better in a group environment, okay? When people think like, I need one-on-one, I need to be shown exactly what to do, like these are limiting beliefs that they put on themselves. The people that are actually really successful in this world are the one that can take concepts, that can take things and learn them and apply them, right? And so that's exactly what you want to do with your athletes, okay? And you want to help them make that mental jump that they don't need you holding their hand right there, that they need to be taught so they can learn for themselves, okay? And so you want to teach them in a group environment because that way people can collaborate, okay? The way I run my group calls is by teaching them concepts and having like a live Q&A so everybody can ask questions and learn from each other, right? So I'll do 2 things. I'll do like a workshop where I'll give like a presentation about something people are struggling with, or number 2, I'll do like a Q&A where people can just ask questions. Sometimes on my group calls, guys will answer other people's questions and it becomes a very, very collaborative process. So like it kind of removes myself from the fulfillment a little bit without sacrificing the actual service that I'm delivering. So it's a win-win. And you can do the exact same thing by creating a good community and by having group calls to strengthen it and actually provide a high level of service to a bunch of people at once, okay? So think about school, right? You guys pay, if you went to college, you probably paid a ton of money to go to college and learn in a group environment. Why are we not doing the same thing on sports, right? It doesn't make any sense. So premium price. If you're charging any less than $250 a month, you are shortchanging yourself. And to be honest, I would even recommend that you're selling at least a 3-month program, if not a 6 to 12-month program. And this is for multiple reasons. You can charge, number 1, more money. You can get buy-in from the athlete over a longer period of time, which means they're more likely to see results, right? Because the longer somebody is with you, the more likely they are to stay with you. And that means you'll get better results, which means better case studies for your marketing, better relationships so you feel more fulfilled. Number 3, more money per customer, which number 4 means you don't have to sell as many people to make more money, right? And so you can just focus on your certain group of athletes and focus on getting really, really, really good results instead of having to sell new people all the time, right? So my recommendation is sell a 6-month program for $1,500 plus. Some of my guys are selling them for like $2K, $3K. And if you can't do that, your program isn't valuable enough or you don't know how to convey the value, which is a whole separate video, right? That's a whole video on sales. But I hope you got a ton of value out of this video. Main takeaways at the end of the day, let me make this bigger. The main takeaways that I would say that you should probably try and take away are like, number 1, creating a online program is very, very simple, but it's all about creating value. And number 2, you are selling information. You are not selling time. Okay. Most people grow up thinking I will trade my time for money. okay? Instead, what we're doing here is we're trading the information that we have in our brain for money, okay? And then we can supplement it with our time to make the program, to make the information more valuable, because now you're selling the application, right? So I hope you got a ton of value out of this video. If you want more information about my program, what I do, then there'll be a pop-up on the screen somewhere around here taking you to that program. It's how to make 10K a month coaching baseball online. Go ahead, watch that video. If you want to watch a bunch of other videos, free training videos similar to this, where I give you a ton of sauce, there'll be a link to a playlist right here. And as always, subscribe to my channel, trying to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year. But without further ado, I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.